morning, dear student. Hi, Reshma Jain. Today I am going to deliver lecture on cloud computing. Basically, cloud computing refers to the services that are accessed over the internet, or we can say it is present at remote location. So, or we can say cloud computing is on-demand availability of computer system resources, which are especially data storage and computing power without direct active management by the user. Or cloud computing, basically it refers to the serving that are accessed over the internet or present at remote location in simple term, right? It means storing, managing, accessing the data and programs on the remote servers that are hosted on internet instead of computer hard drive or machine, right? So the term cloud computing is generally used to describe data centers availability to many users over the internet. Large cloud predominate today often have functions distributed over multiple locations from central servers. If the connection to the user is relatively close, it may be destinated an edge server. Now move ahead to the next slide. Cloud may be limited to a single organizations or be available to many organizations, right? It is a single organization, it is called private cloud, or it is available for all, that is the public cloud. Cloud computing relies on sharing of resources to achieve coherence and economics of scale. Advocates of public and hybrid clouds note that the cloud computing allows companies to avoid and minimize upfront IT infrastructure cost. Proponent also claimed that the cloud computing allow enterprises to get their applications up and running faster with improved manageability and less maintenance. So it enables IT teams to more rapidly adjust resources to meet in fluctuating and unpredictable demand. So providing the burst computing capability, high computing power at certain periods of peak demands. Cloud providers typically use a pay-as-you-go model, which can lead to unexpected operating expenses if administrations are not familiarized with cloud pricing models. The availability of high capacity network, low cost computers and storage devices, as well as widespread adoptions of hardware virtualizations. So here we are going to introduce introduction of the SOA, that is Service-Oriented Architecture. Is an architectural style for building software applications that use services available in networks such as the web. It promotes losing coupling between software components so that they can be reused. So services are software component with well-defined interfaces that are implementation independent. Now, another service is web services. Web services, it can be defined by following ways. It is a client-server applications or application component for communication. The method of communication between two devices over the network, or we can say it is a software system for the interoperable machine-to-machine communication. It is a collection of standards or protocols for exchanging information between two devices or application. Let us understand it by the figure given below. That this is the web service, which is developed in different languages like Java, .NET and PHP and all different platforms, and they are communicating with the single web service. So the architecture of web service interact among the three roles: service provider, service requester, and service registry. The interactions involve the three operations: publish, find, and bind. So it uses the service description to bind with the service provider and invoke with the web service implementation. A major focus of web services is to make functional building blocks accessible over standard internet protocols that are independent for platforms and programming language. These services can be applications are just wrapped around existing legacy system to make them network enabled. A service can rely on another service to achieve its goal. Each SOA building block and can assume one or more of the three roles. Now the service provider create a web service and possibly publish its interface and access information to the service registry. Each provider must decide which service to expose, how to make trade-off between security and easy availability, how to price the service, and how to exploit free services for other value. The provider also has to decide which category to the list the service in form of given broker service and what sort of trading partner agreements are required to use the service. Now, service broker, also known as service registry, it is responsible for making the web service interface and implementation access to information availability to any potential service request. So now the service requester. The service requester or web service client locates entries in the broken registry using various find operations, then bind to the service provider to invoke one of the web service. So this is the diagram in the internet. These are working service requester, which are requesting through the internet to the service broker and service provider and agency system. So this is all about the service-oriented architecture. Now characteristic, the presented SOA illustrate a losing coupling between participants which provide greater flexibility in the following way. So this is all about the service-oriented architecture. Thank you all.